Today I'm going to show you how to create a star field and planet using HitFilm Pro. Here we are in the compositing workflow of HitFilm. So you can see right here is our viewer that has a checkerboard background. That means we have not added anything to our project yet. Here we have the compositing timeline where we can add different layers to paste one on top of the other, kind of like a scrapbook. So let's add a couple of layers. Just add a plane. We'll just call it the background. Make it black. Hit OK. And now we have a background here. Now let's add a new layer. Make it a plane. We'll call this one the stars. Make this one white. Hit OK. And add it on top of the background. So you can see it occludes the background layer. But if you were to move the stars beneath the background, now you just see the background. Because whatever is on top is seen first. Just like, again, making a scrapbook. Now here we have our timeline where we can scroll through our movie. Right now we are at 21 seconds. But on here we're at 14 seconds. And so forth. Nothing's happening because we haven't added any animation to our movie. And in fact, we're not going to in this tutorial. So in this tutorial we will not be making a movie. Let's just keep things at the first frame then. Let's go over to controls. The controls set the property for each layer. Let's move this to somewhere convenient. So you can move this arrow here, and that sticks it beside the viewer. You can do the same thing with the effects panel. The effects panel gives you all of the effects that you can add to your layers. So let's click and drag this. We're going to put it next to the sound meters, which will tell you how loud the clip is. But of course we don't have any sound, so we're not going to be using that. Let's go to effects. And you can see that here's a list of folders with all of the effects that we can add to our layers. You can search effects as well. Let's type in atomic particles. So we see an effect here called atomic particle. Let's click and drag that effect, and you can bring it over to the stars layer. Drop it there. And then you can go up here to controls, go down to the drop-down arrow next to atomic particles, go down to particle placement, number of particles, and you can see that what this effect does is it breaks down this layer, this star layer, into 500 columns and 500 rows. So it creates a grid of particles out of that layer. Let's change this number so we only have 100 columns. So you can see our 100 columns here, and 100 rows. So you can see our 100 rows here. Now you can use the scroll wheel to zoom in, and now you can see the individual particles that this layer is made of. So let's go down, close that, go down to particle appearance here. Now we can set the size of the particle. And this is just how large each particle will appear on the screen. Right now it's set to 5. Let's reduce it a little bit, make these a little bit smaller. And then size randomness. That's the random variation in size between particles. So we want to add some variation to it, make it look a little more natural. So let's set this to be 0.5. Hit enter. And there we go. We still have a grid though. We want these to be dispersed more, like stars. So let's go to the function that says disperse. We can set the value here using this little slider. So as you drag the slider, what it does is it changes the value of this function here. So you reduce that, and it changes the value down to 10. Now this looks almost too random, kind of like static on a television. Let's add a formula to it instead, to some kind of pattern. Let's go down to fractal here, click the drop-down arrow. What this does is it applies a warp to your particles. So we have displaced strength here. Let's just set that to be, say, 100. And you see, it warps the particles like this. Now let's go down to dispersion strength. And let's set that to be about 100 as well. And what dispersion strength does is that just disperses the particles even more than they were before. Except this time, there's a pattern to it. So it looks a little bit more natural. Now you can go down to wavelength, and that's how large the warp is. And so we want the warp to be a little bit larger. See, that looks a little more natural. And you can drag the slider to see the difference. There we go. Just set it to about 40. And there we have our star field. Thank you for watching this part of the tutorial.